It's Judd's Hockey Show.
And welcome into a late Friday night, going on Saturday morning edition of Judd's Hockey Show. AJ and I were going to get on here and talk about the Wild clinching a playoff spot against the Calgary Flames tonight, which they, of course, had the opportunity to do. But instead, we got a, let's see if I can go through the adjectives here, embarrassing, pathetic, weak, inexcusable, disgusting, embarrassing again, absolutely awful performance. A 4-2 loss. It was 4-0. Yakov Trenin and Gustav Nyquist and Trenin scoring the two goals when the game was hopeless was just so fitting for two guys who do nothing. I mean, it is hilarious when Trenin makes the, he scored a goal like this, I think, in Washington as well. Age it might have been a shorty, just a gorgeous goal, but for the most part, he's a fourth line guy who's for his contract useless. Nyquist, for the most part, aside from killing penalties, mostly useless. And this was just absolutely awful. I can't say enough bad things, but here's the situation before we talk about the game, which we will do, Age. The situation is this. The Wild is now tied with St. Louis, 93 points. They were going into tonight. The difference is now they have both played 80 games. Calgary is the only team outside the wild card positioning in the Western Conference that is still alive for a playoff spot. They have played 79 games. Don't forget they have a game next Thursday against the Kings to make up from when the Wildfires hit Los Angeles. Calgary is now 3 points back. The Wild plays Vancouver, which is out of the playoffs, tomorrow night in Vancouver. They can no longer clinch, though. They need to win, but they can no longer clinch. And then they play the Ducks on Tuesday night in a game that very well could mean something in the regular season finale at the X. Let's see here. In the meantime, I've got this all written down. In the meantime, the Blues will play the Kraken tomorrow night in Seattle. The Sharks will then play the Flames, or the Flames will play the Sharks in Calgary on Sunday. On Tuesday, the Flames will play host to the Golden Knights. The Wild will play host to the Ducks, and the Blues will play host to Utah. And then there's that game on Thursday, which could be important. Mm-hmm. But nonetheless, Age, we saw the shootout against just a terrible Sharks team, and the Wild defensively was inept. But at least they showed up for that game. Tonight, They did not show up. And I've got some coaching questions. I've certainly got some questions about what the hell that was. But the floor is yours. What are your thoughts on a performance I can't even begin to really wrap my head around for how important that game should have been or was?
I think there's enough negatives, so I'm going to start with the positives. The positives are that
the game ended.
The game ended, but the Calgary Flames, I'm going to give them credit here because that's the only team that I can give credit to tonight, Judd. They are a team that I wouldn't say I don't think they have like a transcendent superstar like the Wild have with Kaprizov, but what they do have is an attitude and a grit and a culture and a blue collar work ethic that when they need to show up to a game and play old school hockey, they show up and they want it more. And because they played old school hockey, I went and I dug out of the basement. And you might love this. This is a blast from the past for you.
Okay.
A Dr. Dayo.
Oh my God.
HP80 helmet because they were playing old school hockey tonight.
That's great.
That team wanted it more. They needed it more. And in a game that they absolutely had to have, guess what? They made sure they left zero doubts. They went out and massacred the Wild. They made them look like a feeble, weak-minded, pathetic, pitiful little hockey team for 60 straight minutes until Yakov Trenin put one in the back of the net. Gustav Nyquist put one in the back of the net. It was just such a sham for 60 minutes. I can't believe that you, me, everybody in the chat, thousands of Minnesotans across the state of Minnesota stayed up to watch that. Just a terrible, terrible effort. And guess what? There's no running because they got to do it all again tomorrow at 9:00 against Vancouver in another game that now has been amplified to a different level.
Yep.
You could have put everything to bed. This could have been a night We could have had a lackadaisical Saturday night and then Tuesday night against Anaheim. Now
Yep.
these games matter. You forced 40-year-old Marc-Andre Fleury to get up off his chair, go out there and stack the pads against Ryan Lomberg on a breakaway. What are you doing? Just this was a pathetic effort. Like I'm gonna go to bed disgusted tonight.
It was now in fairness, Calgary was up 3-1 a couple of nights ago on the Ducks of all teams, and they blew it, and they lost in OT, so they got a point. But really, the reality is, if Calgary had completed the game against the Ducks, they'd be a point back right now. I felt, though, and we talked about this, the game against the Sharks sort of felt like fool's gold because it was fun to watch. But it's like, what is this? Like, you're playing a terrible team. They scored 7 goals. And yes, Fleury was not good, but they scored 7 goals. And yes, the helmet should be a fixture. It's fantastic. There also now is the concern that Jared Spurgeon played one shift into the second period, suffered I don't know what it was because the replay certainly didn't show it. Missed the entire, after that second period, came back for the third, played a bit, but according to Russo, he returned for 6 shifts in the third, left again, and did not come back. So there's something up there. When they showed him on the bench after he came back in the third, he did not look right. There also was the fact that I think that the first line looked exhausted the entire game. Don't know exactly how. I mean, Kaprizov's just back, perhaps. When they did have scoring chances, and this is the thing that you can do against the Sharks that you cannot do against a decent team, and Calgary's not that good, but they're decent. But Zuccarello's trying to pass again. And Calgary, I mean, I thought that on the telecast, actually, Ryan Carter did a pretty good job of explaining this or pointing it out. Calgary was north-south, and we're going to shoot. And meanwhile, Zuccarello's trying to find Kaprizov, who, by the way, did not have a good game. He looked off. I don't know if it still hurts a little bit. I don't know. I mean, he just could be not sharp yet, whatever it was. But you've got that first line trying to, make plays like they're the 86 Oilers or something. And it's like, look how Calgary is playing here, right? I mean, look at how, and so that was disturbing. And tonight was an example. Again, when you're playing a decent team, this is going to show up, age. Tonight was a decent example of when you play a team like this, first of all, they're going to hit Kaprizov a lot. Like, the Sharks are awful, but a good team is going to hit him a lot, and he's not going to be as sharp. And I think there's a chance he might not be as sharp, and he's certainly not skating as well as he ordinarily does for the rest of this season. So, like, I wouldn't expect it just to come back unless they make, which after tonight, I ain't going to say this, unless they made some type of deep playoff run. Coaching wise, I'd like to bring up one thing that I absolutely hated. So you're down 3-0. Kaprizov is off. Third period. You're putting pressure on, but you actually don't get a shot on goal until basically halfway through the period. You got chances, but you didn't get shots. And you decide to double shift Kaprizov, who's coming off a major injury. Like, think this through, man. First of all, you ain't playing well. And I know you're trying to get a boost, but he's coming off surgery for a hernia or a groin problem, whatever it is. The extra time on the ice right now ain't going to help him. And quite frankly, I didn't think he played well enough tonight to justify it. So I didn't like that. But overall, I mean, I can't tell you how disgusting I thought the game was. And the funniest thing, too, is, and this is a point that you've been harping on for quite some time, and it got worse when Spurgeon got hurt. But your guys, Maryland and Bogosian, man, in a game like that tonight, that was rough to watch. That was rough.
I've gotten some messages on social media here the past 24 hours. Unfortunately for Zeev Buium, his Denver Pioneers fell to the Western Michigan Broncos.
Yeah.
He's now free to sign with the Wild.
Yeah.
I expect him to. It's rumored that he's going to here in the next, it could be done by 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. If he is a member of the Minnesota Wild, an active member after pen is put to paper, and he walks into that locker room and doesn't find his number on the lineup card, and number 4 is, I am going to have serious questions about the coaching staff running this team. What we're seeing here lately, and frankly, I don't care who it is. There's 3 guys. Half of the current healthy defensemen can be substituted out. 47, 4, 24. Get them all out. I don't really care. Pick one. It doesn't really matter. He's going to skate circles around those guys. 47, he played some good hockey earlier in the year. Chisholm was all right. It's been very tapering off lately. He's made a lot of big mistakes, a lot of turnovers. He seems lost in his own zone at times. Like, he simply, I think, just needs a night off. We've seen what he can do. Right now, he's not doing it. 4, for his talent and skill level, I appreciate what he's done for the team this season. I can't do it anymore. Not when you have an explosive sparkblood who can, one, he's going to out-defend him. He's going to out-skate him. He's going to outwork him. He's going to out-offense him. He's going to out-everything. The only thing he maybe doesn't have is more facial hair than the guy. Get him out of the lineup. And Bogosian, don't even get me started on him. I don't care. You pick one of the 3, get him in the press box. I want Zeev Buium in the lineup immediately. I don't want any of this, oh, well, they've been here. Oh, they've earned their keep. Oh, they're veterans. I don't give a damn. Get them out. After what we've seen the past handful of nights, this is unacceptable. You need to send a message. I don't care if this guy's been here for a cup of coffee. You have to send a message, because right now, what they're doing is not working. There's been no defensive structure. There's nothing going on. You are the weakest. It's a styrofoam wall. There's no bricks. There's no mortar. It's styrofoam. It's a piece of paper. You can just waltz right to the front of that. Nobody cares. People are left wide open. There's no resiliency. Let a guy who's actually going to want to play and play hard and play defensively, and he's not the most sound defensively guy for sure. I understand that. Zeev Buium, he's probably got stuff to work on. It's going to be a transition going from NCAA to NHL. What he's got right now in this very moment, probably still heartbroken over his loss. Don't care. He's going to be a better player than all 3 of those guys.
Oh, Brock was too. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, Brock suffered a loss in the championship game, which I contend was much more devastating than the Pioneers loss, because that was a Gopher team that easily should have won, hadn't won. I mean, at least Zeev won a title last year, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. And now, if Spurgeon's hurt, he's a right-handed shot. That means you're going to have to get a little bit creative here, because Buium's a left-handed shot. Chisholm is a left shot. Bogosian's a right shot, and Merrill is a left shot. So how would that work then? So you'd put, well, problem too is you'd probably have to break up Faber and Brodin, because I'd put Zeev with Faber, because he's a right shot, and then I would put Brodin and my second pairing if Spurgeon's out. My second pairing, you're going to end up potentially with 2 left shots. But you know what? I think Brodin can do that. I think
he's
Brodin
good enough.
I can't watch this Merrill Bogosian combination anymore. I just can't. Chisholm probably stays in because he has more talent, but I do agree he's been waning. It's not been good. But let's go through the lines tonight, okay? So we talked about the first line. It didn't work. The first line just didn't work, and I'm not saying to break up the first line. I'm just saying it didn't work. Mm-hmm. And Kaprizov to me looked exhausted. He definitely had a game where it's like, this is going to take some time, as opposed to the Sharks game when I think he had 9 shots on goal. He had just come back, and they're playing an opponent that's awful. Second line, Eriksson, Foligno, and Boldy. I was a little disappointed, but I will say this: Eriksson generated chances. I think he hit a couple of posts. He hit a crossbar. But the third line in particular, okay, it's not working. Gaudreau, who I've really appreciated until now, and I know that they scored a goal, but Nyquist and Johansson, let's talk about that fourth goal, the breakaway goal that Johansson. So the Wild was actually in the Flame zone, high in the zone, pressuring. Lomberg steals the puck from Johansson, not surprisingly. He breaks away. Did you watch the replay? So Bogosian is chasing hard. Johansson is gliding back. He lost the puck, and he's just gliding back.
Interesting. I must have missed that.
I'm sorry, man. I can't. Whatever he gives you, I can't do this. Like I am. You're going after guys who are being asked, in my opinion, to do too much, and I'm all for scratching them. But like I don't feel like it's a lack of effort. I feel like it's a lack of skill.
Mm-hmm.
JoJo's a lack of effort completely. And when he wants to try, he does. And when he doesn't care. And I mean, that giveaway was inexcusable. But what was worse to me was the zero effort to make up for that. And that's the goal then that made it 4-0. Gustafsson gets lifted. And according to Russo's Twitter, I guess Gus melted down on the bench and John Hines had to run down and calm him down. Because I don't know if he had, because I do think that they're now going to bring Gus back, as the telecast said. I think that's exactly right. They're going to bring him back tomorrow against the Canucks to start. But I don't blame Gus at all. If Gus was pissed off. Now, Dustin Wolf played great. He's really good.
Yeah.
He's a better goaltender than Gus. But again, I ain't pinning this loss on Gus. This was the guys in front of Gus. And number 90 is stealing. Like, he is just absolutely stealing. And then the fourth line is the fourth line. I mean, it is what and Hartman creates some chances, but I still feel like he's really regressed again. Like he creates some chances, but he doesn't do much for me. I'm just disappointed. That third line you need a little bit more from, and you got nothing. And that third line also struggled in the Sharks game. And of course, to your point, that Sharks game structure-wise was awful. But yes, Jake, the sports fan, Jake, you're absolutely correct. I am not blaming Gus.
No, I mean, and similar to the game against the Sharks, like, did Marc-Andre Fleury have the best game? And we said this in our post-game show after that, which was, no, he didn't. I'm sure he'd admit it. He technically let up 7 goals. All 7 weren't on him. It was a pretty poor effort in front of him, but also he himself hadn't played in like 20 days or something like that. It was an insane amount of time.
Yeah, you're right.
Gus has been leaned on for this team. Tonight was a game where you needed some sort of structure, some sort of like even just rudimentary stuff.
Yeah.
They didn't even show that effort. And that fourth goal is that is the perfect summary of this game. The turnover, the zero effort on the back check by Johansson. Obviously, you said Bogosian was huffing and puffing getting back. And the thing is, they're like, I even want the bare minimum. If you want to go full Captain Hook and just trip the guy and say, you know what, I messed up, I got to go to the box for 2 minutes, at least you preserve it where 3-0 at that stage of the game, it's manageable. Like, you would have taken a big effort, but like, it's not impossible. You just said, hey, have a free ride in. And it's Ryan Lomberg.
Right.
We're not talking about Backlund. We're not talking. Anyway, the thing is, they don't even have any. It's that is the biggest summarization of that game. But that's the problem. And also, similar to like in the World Series last year, where you had it's 6 batters till Shohei Ohtani's up. I need FanDuel to do 2 games until Marcus Johansson is no longer a contracted member of the Minnesota Wild. I need that on my screen for the next however many games. I can't wait for that contract to be done.
And I think the thing about tonight too, with the importance, because you could have again clinched the playoff spot. I think the thing that gets me is there was never a push until the end. When, by the way, I don't care anymore. Like, good, you scored an, you pulled Flower out and you scored a goal by Nyquist. Oh, good for you. That's exciting. But I mean, there was never a push. Like, I thought the first period was bad. And I thought, okay, they're going to come out in the second and we're going to get a push. We did not. The third, they came out and got a push. But again, the key stat is they did not get a shot on goal. They did not get a shot on goal until halfway through the third period. So that's not a real push. That's just puck possession. And meanwhile, Calgary is like Calgary put on the most, and I say this in a complimentary way, they put on the most cliched hockey term game, right? They got pucks deep. They were
Yeah.
on the man, like every hockey cliche that you can think of.
Got to
The
the
Flames
dirty
did.
areas.
The Flames were doing that. Like they're not a great team. They're an okay team that has trouble, by the way, scoring goals. And yeah, they went into the dirty areas. They came away with pucks, every possible yawning hockey term, but they did that. And the Wild spent the majority of that game watching them. And yes, John, did Boldy play tonight? I didn't see him. Yes, he did. But the other thing that amazes me is, and this is where I think they're not a playoff. Well, they might make it. I don't think that they're a sustainable team at all now.
They may
Because
get there, but they didn't
right,
earn it.
no.
Right?
But the thing that amazes me about that is, I've never seen, like, in such a key game, they looked exhausted. And Kaprizov, I can sort of get. Okay, he's been back now for a couple of games. It's tough. I get it. He's coming back. I certainly wouldn't have double shifted him tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But to the Boldy point, I mean, again, I'll go back to, I know it's a long year, but ladies and gentlemen, the playoffs haven't started yet. The playoffs are the toughest time. I've said this at the beginning of the playoffs every single year. The playoffs are fun for fans. As a player, they suck. It is months of unbelievably hard work. It is months of playing with broken bones and broken fingers and injuries and torn this and torn that. And you look tired in game, what was this? 80?
Mm-hmm.
You look tired in game 80. I mean, Faber again tonight. And the first goal was a direct result of Gus behind the net trying to make a pass or feed the puck to Fabes on what would have been the deep right wing side in the Wild zone, and it got picked off because Fabes was not on the same page. But Faber looked absolutely exhausted.
Yeah, and that was
It's game
more
8, man. It's game 8.
that was more like pure miscommunication than anything, because it looked like
that one was for sure.
He almost like more signaled, "Hey, go to Brodin," and then he went to the strong side, and Faber was like, "I can't get to this puck now," and then turnover, blah blah blah. Yeah. What do you? Let me ask you this. Oh, before I go, what were you gonna say?
Luke's comment at 12:08 a.m. is I think important here. Spurgeon took a puck to the throat, which explains why he looked so distressed and panicked, and why he needed help from the ref to get to the bench. Foligno said Jared was getting light-headed, according to Michael Russo of The Athletic. Okay, that makes sense, and that's what happened to Faber against the Blues here. Now he got hit by a slap shot, and we saw that, and he skated off immediately, and that was scary. So that explains it. Because there was never, so TV didn't capture that, because they went back and showed replays of like Spurgeon got tied up with a guy, and it's like, he didn't get hurt on that, right? So that's definitely scary. Hopefully he's fine. If he's fine, that does make your defensive pairings very simple, though. That means that the second Zeev Buium's foot touches ground in the Wild locker room, the next thing his foot touches is a skate. And the next thing that Johnny Merrill touches, I would imagine, is a really nice piece of popcorn in the press box.
Great popcorn at the XL Energy Center.
Yeah, he can come up and eat popcorn. He's a good guy. He can come up and eat popcorn with us. But hopefully Spurgeon is fine. And if that's the case, then that sorts your pairings out pretty simply.
Yeah, that should make it pretty easy. And I know there have been multiple reports and rumors that what's expected is that he's going to probably play maybe tomorrow against the Canucks. He'll get in the lineup against Anaheim, and then he doesn't see the ice, like, given people are healthy in the playoffs, barring injuries. That's ridiculous.
Oh, no, you can't do that.
That's ridiculous. Do you want to win or not? It's as simple as that. If you're in the playoffs, there's no reason to have alliances to guys who like either have expiring contracts or anything. And even then, you shouldn't, because at this stage, like, you are a hockey player. You should know, like, you're going to do the best for the team. Zeev Buium, for some of these guys on the defensive core, is what's best for the team. I was going to ask you about him allegedly sticking around for the Hobie Baker presentation.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? Because technically he's not an employee of the Wild yet. Like, he's a prospect. They have his playing rights, but being eliminated to You see what Jimmy Snugger would do, and granted, it's not the same situation because he's not, I think, the expected odds-on favorite, but it was kind of like
Right.
as soon as he left the rink, hey, let's get you to St. Louis, let's get you in a jersey, let's get you in the lineup. For Zeev, it's all right, we're going to stick around, we're going to go to this presentation, and now that this is all done, now let's maybe get you out with your team, with the Wild, put pen to paper, and now you're an NHLer.
Right. You know what? Because he played, I guess, I saw this on Twitter, I believe. He played the equivalent of a full game in overtime last night. So, because that game between
51 and some change minutes.
So he played, yeah. So he played a ton. So I have no problem with him not playing tonight. I would like to see him play tomorrow. But the most important thing to me is I want to see him play as soon as he's ready to play for them. Like, that's my thing. If there's any inclination of, well, Johnny Merrill has been playing, like, no, he's done. And Luke brings up a good point here too. So actually, it sounds like Jake Middleton might be back tomorrow. He was not,
he's on the trip.
Morning. Yeah, he's on the trip. He skated this morning. They basically said, we're going to see how he does. He stayed on the ice after practice got done. And so the decision by that happening was made that he was not going to play. So let's go through the defensive pairings then. Mm-hmm. So we're talking about with Spurgeon, assuming he plays now, we're talking about 25, Brodin and Faber. We're talking about Middleton playing on the left side with Spurgeon on the right side. And then you can play Buium on the left side. He's a left-handed shot. Bogosian's a right shot. Declan Chisholm's a left shot. I don't know that I want to play him on his offside. And then who am I missing? And John Merrill's a left shot, so he gets scratched.
Yes.
So would you play? So with those potential combinations, Brodin, Faber, Middleton, Spurgeon, Buium, Bogosian, what would your combinations be?
Ooh, that's tough. I would probably. It's so tough because you're gonna have Brock Faber as your top right defenseman.
Correct. And do you keep him with Brodin? Because he's a lefty shot.
My gut tells me you need to put Brodin on a spot to where he can cover defensively for somebody. But I don't want Declan Chisholm on the top pairing, and I don't think you can put Zeev there right now. As much as I think that Buium Faber is like, that's the rock for the next 10 years for the Wild.
Yeah.
Right now, first game, I don't think you can do that. You probably leave Brodin Faber at the top.
Yep.
It probably stays.
I put
Zeev
with Spurgeon.
I'm fine with that.
And I put Jake with Bogosian.
Really? You're gonna bump Merrill or Middleton down?
But not because he has done something wrong. I'm gonna bump him down because I want Spurgeon to stabilize Buium. I need a right-handed shot defenseman who I trust completely. And believe it or not, I don't trust Bogosian completely. So I would rather have like this is not a demotion. This is I'm trying to figure out who would stabilize, because if Buium, to your point, he's going to come here and I think he's going to be very good offensively. He's going to be concerned about making mistakes, but he's probably not a finished National Hockey League product as a defenseman, as a true the defensive stuff. Spurgeon knows all the tricks. He's a right-handed shot. Mm-hmm. So I'm not trying to insult Jake here, but I am trying to put Buium with someone who can cover for him. And I feel like Jared's just really solid. Like, he's a very good player. He's solid. He's not sexy, but Bogosian's got enough problems that I don't want him to have to make up for if there is a breakdown. But I'm still far more enthralled by that thought than John Merrill playing. And Declan Chisholm, I just don't see a spot for in what we're doing here with the gymnastics.
Yeah, I agree. I think Merrill does come out, and I'm just going to hold my breath every time that Middleton Bogosian pairing is on the ice, because with Jake's elevated offensive role this year, like, he's gotten up in the play deep, And Bogosian, we know what he likes to do as well. If Jake commits to a forecheck and the puck drifts to Bogosian, who lets one fly wide and possession changes hands in a matter of seconds,
he's not going to be doing
then
that
it's like,
in my
I'm laundry hung out to dry on the line. Like
I'm talking about that.
That's where it's going to be very risky times. But other than that, I actually like the pairings given like as much as I can. I like it as much as I can.
But your option there is to tell Jake not to pinch in as much, which I would prefer not to do, or to tell Bogosian not to take every freaking shot he possibly can. And the problem is this. Ordinarily, I would say go ahead and shoot, right? Like the Flames did. The problem is Bogosian misses the net so damn much that you do run the risk of being caught on a 2-on-1. So I'm telling Bogosian, rein it in. Like the offensive guy here is going to be Jake. Like Jake's the superior player. So I need you to play defense and I need you to pass him the puck and I need you not to shoot the puck because you often tend to shoot the puck. And because of that, it rings the boards and then it creates 2-on-1s. I'm also changing the lines tomorrow night. I've decided.
Okay. I want to hear it. What do you got in mind?
Okay. It's because we got a replay tonight and I knew this was going to happen after that damn Sharks game. That Sharks game was not the best game for Kirill to come back in because it was not a game that reflected how one, the Wild should play, or two, the Sharks aren't a real team. Like they're not good. And the Wild played terrible defensively. So as of tomorrow night, at least, the pass happy Twins are not playing together. Tonight, they abused my trust. If I'm John Hines, they abused my trust. I got, Matt Gretzky there again against a team that's clogging it up, doing a great job. And the thing about Matt's is he can shoot. He just chooses not to shoot because he wants to make a great pass, which against the Sharks you can, against the Flames you can't. And that was very apparent. So I'm going to put Boldy and Kaprizov together tomorrow night.
Who's that top line center?
And I am going to make Ek the top line center tomorrow night.
I think he's earned that. As much as I love Marco Rossi.
Yeah.
The last couple of games have been not his greatest showings. Refine your game. I'm not saying he can't play better. But yeah, I agree. Ek, after a full 4-goal night, he at least it adds two-way. That's another big body for the front net, net front presence for
scoring
those two
chances
guys
tonight.
Yeah, he has earned 1C no matter what. He should be the 1C come tomorrow in Vancouver.
Second line tomorrow night, Rossi at center, Foligno on the left, Zuccarello on the right. Here's my reasoning. Foligno can make plays, but Matt is going to shoot more. Yeah. Marco actually does a nice job. In fact, when Kaprizov set Marco up tonight with that tip in the first period that went off the post, nice play. But I do not want someone with Matt's right now who he's going to be really tempted just to pass it to. I need him to shoot. So my second line is Foligno on the left, Zuccarello on the right, Rossi at center.
And with that, I need John Hines to pull him aside and say, Matts, you're the scorer on this line. Shoot the puck. I don't want you trying to set up Marco. I don't want you trying to set up Marcus.
Yep.
You are the scorer. They will set you up. And your shot that maybe gets saved and it's a rebound out front, if they clean it up, you get the assist you want so bad, that's totally fine. You need to shoot the puck because, the pass happy Twins, as you have coined them so perfectly, we're 2 games back now, and I just can't have it anymore.
All right, and then I'm going to give you my third and fourth lines too, because I'm going to mix things up there. So my third line, I'm going to have Gaudreau at center, Nyquist on the left. And by the way, again, I don't like him at all, but he's killed penalties. He kills penalties.
Yep.
Hinostroza on the right. I like the fact that they put him back in. He
Mm-hmm.
created a bit. Yes, he's a smaller guy, and yes, he's not the most talented guy, but he can make things happen. He's got some speed. He has effort. I never look at Vinny Hinostroza and say, I wonder if he cares about the sport he plays for a living. And then my fourth line, Hartman, Trenin, Brazeau coming back in. And that leaves Marcus Johansson watching from the press box.
Totally fine.
No, I might change that. I might change that for Tuesday. But from now on, I'm scratching guys like Johansson, Brazeau, Trenin arbitrarily based on if you gave me your best, you're going to play. And if you didn't, you can go watch the game. And by the way, the Johansson thing, I would love to see because he is in a contract year and he's been playing very hard of late. He's been trying very hard. And I would love nothing more than for teams to see a DNP and say, oh, was he hurt? You'd say, no, he wasn't hurt. He just didn't deserve to play. Hope it costs him a couple bucks. So I'm going to put Brazeau back in, not because I like him that much, but because I want Marcus Johansson to suffer.
Frankly, I kind of love that. Like, I think Vinny Hinostroza, he deserves to be in the lineup. I don't think you can bury him on the fourth line. Like, he's not a good player, but he's also not a fourth line player. If that makes sense,
He doesn't fit the bill. I know exactly what you're saying.
He is a third line guy. Like, he's not skilled enough to probably be top six, but he works his ass off. I really appreciate Vinny Hinostroza. Like, for a guy that they picked up off waivers, I really appreciate and respect his game. Third line for him, totally fine. And that would be a sight of all sights. After all this time, us bitching and moaning last season, this season, 90 finally in the press box, especially after what we saw tonight. Well-deserved. Would be a well-deserved benching. And if the talk that I'm assuming he probably had with his agent, like, hey, your contract's up, right? Let's get it in gear.
Yeah.
That throws a wrench in all their plans. Would be just fine by me. Unfortunately, I don't think that's the case. If I had to guess, they're going to think that they need more size. Vinny Hinostroza probably is out. Brazeau's back in tomorrow. And then everything else is the same.
Yeah, which I hate.
Johansson
100% deserves to be out tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Pull that crap, you're out. Let's see here. Josh says at 12:24, would they consider Ogren? Clearly not. Clearly they won't. I don't know.
Especially not at this stage of the year.
Yeah, and they clearly don't think that he's prepared. The way he's been slow cooked does surprise me a little bit. Now, I wouldn't throw him in now, but I'm surprised that he didn't get a chance before. And I can't decide if it's the Wild holding to their, well, we signed these guys and, or if they feel he's not prepared yet. If that's the case, then that's a discussion. If they're doing it, like if the Buium thing, well, we can't play him. No, you can play him. You should. And somebody should be questioned if he does not play. That's it for me. I mean, that was just disgusting. That was just, we were hoping to celebrate a playoff berth here, and now it's going to take 2 more wins. I think if they get 2 more wins, they're in. And they should. But again, they should have shown up tonight. They shouldn't have given up 7 goals to the Sharks. Like, there's a lot of things they should do. We're a long way from the team in early December that was sitting in first place overall in the point standings, and was showing up on a nightly basis and playing great. I don't know where that team went, but final thoughts from you, sir? Or are you? No, I do love the helmet, by the way. The dedication, the commitment to that for the entire show, simply awesome.
It's more comfortable than you would think. Like, given it's a 1980, it's the 3-piece. You can't see the back, but what's frustrating about it was a bad performance, but to have so much go their way the other night. St. Louis loses, Calgary loses, I think, in a shootout to the Ducks, if that was the matchup that I'm thinking.
They lost an OT. And gave up a 2-goal lead to the Anaheim Ducks, which is why I question Calgary too.
Yeah. But at least they rose to the occasion. But to have all of that go your way the other night, and now you're in a situation where it wasn't, the conversation shifted from, are you making the playoffs, to, are you going to get the wild card 1 or wild card 2?
Correct.
You don't seize that opportunity. Yeah, we don't need that. We just want to make the playoffs, but we're also not going to do it tonight. And now you got to do it against a Vancouver team that I think they're not technically eliminated, but they know they are. And
No,
then,
they're done.
oh, are they officially now?
They're out.
Okay,
Calgary's the only team. Calgary's the only team in the Western Conference that's on the outside of the playoff picture that's not eliminated.
perfect. So you have a Vancouver team that really doesn't have anything to play for other than to play as spoiler to you.
Yep.
Who knows how that checked out? I think and this was maybe,
But this shouldn't be a
unconfirmed.
conversation.
No, it shouldn't be. That's
Like I
what's
see
so frustrating.
comments up there about how, well, I think the Flames are going to lose to this team, and folks, this shouldn't be the conversation. This team didn't show up for a game, for an absolutely key game. This team deserves no grace. This team does not deserve. I'm sorry, but it's hard. It is hard to believe that this team belongs in the playoffs with the way that they've played of late, and just, so I am just astounded that you could go into a game that important, play 60 minutes, 3 periods, and in no period did it really kick in that you might want to get your ass in gear because your opponent's playing hard. Yeah, John's right. John said the only reason I want the Wild to make the playoffs is for Fleury. But keep in mind, John, Fleury also won't play, so perhaps he'd like to go home too.
Yeah.
Perhaps he'll go home. The season ends. He'll be hired as a consultant, and he will urge Billy to trade everyone he possibly can.
Yeah. If they make the playoffs and make a run to where they get Fleury another Stanley Cup ring, I'll do something drastic. I don't know what yet, but like, it's just not happening. I could tell you I'm getting a Yakov Trenin back tattoo. It's not going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen. It's not going to come close. All right, we're done. I'm Judd. He's AJ. We'll be back, if nothing else, on Monday to talk about the Vancouver game and set up what could be a very interesting Tuesday night game against the Ducks. Judd's Hockey Show. Good night. Good morning, actually. We'll see you later.